My name is Lutz Bachman from the Rotary Club in Norway. It's my second time in Papua New Guinea, and I volunteered for this Rotary project to support the local community in Nondugl in the Western Highlands here in Papua New Guinea, because I consider it very important to support this local community. When you have a look around in this community and you say that they are at a very, very basic level, and especially when it comes to school education of kids, they hardly have any resources for doing that. When you look at the school facilities, it's at the very, very basic limit. And so this year our project is first of all to improve the classrooms, that they get a concrete floor, that they get a fresh paint so that it's actually much nicer to learn and teach in these facilities. And when you see how the kids react to that, when they enter the door after the refurbishment of the classrooms, when they see suddenly they have a floor there, it's a very basic thing. Suddenly they see the walls are painted, you see them smiling. I think that is really something that makes you on the one hand think a lot, and it's the best reward you can get when you see the shining eyes of these kids, that you understand we are doing an excellent job here.
Fantastic. And so, Professor Lutz, you're a professor. Your Norway has actually contributed quite a lot to this project as well.
Yes, it's true. I'm professor at the University of Oslo. I hold a professorship in biology. And I'm very happy that I convinced my employer, basically the Natural History Museum at the University of Oslo in Norway, that they donated some equipment for improving the teaching and the education of the kids here. So it was very nice that we were actually able to bring a magnification microscope for the school here. Mm-hmm. Very basic, sort of relatively low magnification tool, but at least it will help the teachers that they instruct the kids here about their, first of all, insect fauna, that they get familiar with the local biodiversity, but of course they can also use the instrument for other things, looking at some magnification level, let's say at stones, at flowers, whatever they can find in the schoolyard, in their gardens, so that they get a much better understanding how important, on the one hand, biodiversity is, that there's actually quite a lot of biodiversity around them, and that they get a better understanding that this is a very important and valuable resource that they have to take care of now and also in the future.
Excellent. So this microscope is located in the Nondugl School Library? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. We opened some sort of with a big name, but for them a very nice name, some sort of a small science lab in the local library that we set up last year as in another part of this support project for the community. So that's where we have now this microscope, where we have some printouts of insect keys that allow the kids to figure out what kind of insects they are looking at. Is it a butterfly? Is it a bug? Is it a fly? Or whatever they can find here in the area where they screen for insects.
Excellent. And there's also a teacher house here named after Becky, your daughter.
That was how it all actually started, our contribution from Norway to basically a project that was organized from Rotary clubs in Australia. That my daughter Rebecca, she was on a one-year exchange in Australia. She made all these contacts. She introduced the project to our local Rotary club in Nesodden and convinced the club to support the project. So as I said in the beginning, it's my second time that I join a team, and last year we did some upgrading of the teachers' houses so that the teachers appreciate much more that they have actually a great job and great living facilities to tie them better to the school. And one house was eventually named after Rebecca, my daughter. Mm-hmm. So this is called today Becky's House, sponsored by the Nesodden Rotary Club.
Excellent. So We would like to thank your club as well on behalf of the Nondugl people and of the Australian Rotary clubs. So yeah, thank you guys for that. They've also contributed some soccer gear, is it?
Yeah, we have that still unpacked, so the local kids don't know about that. But we learned on the previous trips how keen they are in all sorts of sport jerseys. So we should also acknowledge our local soccer club at the near Southern Peninsula. When we talked to them earlier this year, are you interested in donating some jerseys? It didn't take more than 2 or 3 minutes, and we had a set of 16 or 17 jerseys, which we later out in the project will hand out to the kids at the high school, so that they can actually form a soccer or a football or a rugby team, all wearing the Nesoden soccer team's jerseys.
Go team, go team. Okay, and so in this trip you not only came by yourself, you actually brought 2 other family members with you. So how long has the flight been to get to this point, and who did you bring with you?
Yeah, it of course takes some time to get from Norway to Papua New Guinea. It is, as just mentioned, not only me who is part of the team this year, it's also my wife Jutta, and for the 3rd time our daughter Rebecca. So yeah, if you take the netto flying time as something depending on the connection in between 24 and 28 hours in the air, then changing the planes. So we came actually through Abu Dhabi, through Singapore, and then to Brisbane. That was my route. My wife and my daughter, they traveled a few days earlier, so they spent and met the rest of the team already earlier in Sydney or Newcastle. But for them it was basically the same flying time. But matter of fact, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
And there's no doubt about that it's really worth it. When you see all the kind people here, the kids smiling all day, it's the best reward you can actually get for charity work.
Excellent. And on behalf of Nondugl again and the team, I'd like to thank you for all your dedication that you've put in over the years, all your time, love and effort. So thank you so much, Lutz. You're amazing.
It's a pleasure.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.